Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at ICP. So I'm a big fan of ICP because obviously I'm wrecked on it. That's what it takes to join a community in crypto. You have to be wrecked, and then you join the community, then you become a believer, because if you don't, well, you're in trouble. So outside of just the fact that obviously I'm underwater on, I suppose I'm probably breaking even now because I did buy a load lower, but my first buy on this one was about 600 sats, which is obviously wrecked city, and I have been buying a load more, so I don't keep exact tracks on exactly where I am, but it's not been a good trade, I have to tell you that. But I like it a lot, and I actually really think that this chart is going to work out to a very large extent somewhere down the line, and so by buying significant lows on this one, or just buying into it, staking it as well, I think it'll come round in the end, and you'll do well. I've spoken about the long-term time frames, but just in summary, what we'll just have a quick look at, just very briefly, is the enormous bullish divergence on the RSI, which continues to build, and on both pairs, Bitcoin and its tether pair. I prefer to look at the Bitcoin pair, but you can see it for clear as day here. Same with the MACD as well. So it's long term looks like it will one day turn around, but the big question is, where is the bloody low on this thing? When you're looking at significant lows on RSI building momentum and divergence, where the hell is the low? So there's one other thing as well. We might as well take it back to the. No, we don't need to go back to the weekly, but you can see we've been in an enormous descending channel, up to the top, to the bottom, to the top, down to the bottom, to the top, and this is the first time we've actually broken out of this right now. So anyone who knows a formation which is a descending channel like this knows that it's actually, believe it or not, a bullish formation. Believe it or not. The problem with it being bullish is that it goes down forever until it decides to break out. So one thing we can take note of now is that it actually finally has broken out on the daily or on any time frame, but it's easier to see it on the daily. We're trending above most moving averages and getting rejection here on the 200 simple moving average. You know what? I don't think we've ever touched that before, ever in its life. So this is like a definite, it's definitely a new thing really for ICP to have done a retest of that 200 exponential. And you know what's above that? I mean, no, that's the 200 simple. The 200 exponential is only just a little bit above it, 455. Now, I was talking about how, you know, the target for this next one move that we were having with this, you know, this current move up here would have been these lines over here. So 400, then 500 sats. So the first one was 320, the second being 400, next being 500, and then hopefully shortly after that, well, it's not shortly, but eventually 900 and beyond. I know that's not 900 sats, but you see, you know what I'm talking about. You can see it's, you know, it's just easier for everyone to see. So that is the deal, and so now we've broken out of the channel. This would suggest continuation. To be honest with you, it would. We've also got pump signal generated on the daily here for ICP for the Ichimoku cloud. I know that it's actually a trend continuation signal because we've got a positive cross above the cloud, but I'm not particularly convinced when these have negative crosses followed by positive crosses. So as far as I'm concerned, this is the initial cross that took place down here that's in play on the daily, giving us a pump signal, which is why we're able to break out of this level here, this descending channel that it's been in since pretty much forever, and we're moving up towards the next target of 400 sats, which should then allow, hopefully, if we break 400 sats, to move straight up to 500 sats. It does look good, I have to say. I do like it. This isn't going to have immediate continuation. It may not even have follow-through. This is ICP at the end of the day. We are quite high on the RSI. Being high on its own isn't particularly a problem, but we were high over here, and throughout this we've managed to develop, or what might end up developing, bearish divergence at this stage. You know, the problem with having RSI so high isn't that it's overbought, like a lot of people will say. Is that you're going to get sort of bearish divergence as a result of that. You know, we've got it on the money flow index as well. So that is, I suppose, the downer on this particular analysis. But outside of the momentum, which currently is only showing 2 drives, you know, which sometimes is enough, but it's only showing 2 drives. It does look quite good, I have to say. MACD turning up as well here on the daily, and if we just move it over to the weekly, the 3 daily, we don't have any drives of divergence at all. Still looking pretty good on the 3 day, and obviously on the weekly, you know, we're still climbing out of wrecked city, so plenty of room to move on the weekly. So yeah, the daily offers some volatile behaviour due to the divergences, and that could bring us down to test any one of these moving averages, provided that we stay above the channel which we've broken out of. You know, the moving averages are all crossing above it now, Bollinger Band Center is more or less on the 320, which is the first sell target that we had on this one for the small scalpy trade. So that's done now. You can see that's all getting reinforced with this area here. So that's good. So 320, if it were to come down to those levels, might be worth a sort of a buy the dip kind of vibe. It's still obviously pretty risky, to be honest with you. More than pretty risky. This is ICP we're talking about. This is for the people who want to be ICP whales, you know, in a few years down the line. And I honestly believe that this is going to be one of the better ones to hold in the long term. Despite, you know, everybody calling it scams or whatever, I do like it. I like it a lot. So the next target, 400 sats, we almost got there, 375. And then if that holds and breaks straight up to 500, I would say, to be honest with you, I don't see it too much of a problem. When we get to 500 sats with the way that we are, so I suppose particularly extended here on RSI, and probably the money flow index will be at that point too, I think that might be it for now, and we might end up remaining back in this channel between 400 and 500 sats. See where we go. In order for the 400 sats to retain its support level, I would like to see these moving averages cross up to and above it, really, just to reinforce that kind of area as support. So yeah, I like it. I thought I might as well bring it to your attention. You know, the next order on the list is the 400 sats, then the 500 sats, and that would have been the scalpy trade that we were talking about from well, I suppose a couple of weeks ago. Done and dusted. I obviously have a huge hodl bag of this stuff, but I did go a little hard and heavy recently on this one. I don't generally like to talk about it too much because I don't want to get absorbed into this whole, you know, some channels just end up being like a channel about a certain coin, and then people gravitate to you about that particular coin, and that's not really what I want to be. But I do like it, so and it has worked out quite well. And we think about it from the alt season that we kind of predicted around the 13th, wasn't it? Where was it? Around about here, yeah. So around the 12th to the 13th is where we started getting in on alts. That's done quite well for ICP, 84% with a top target of 136. Obviously, taking profit on 320, 400 be next, then 500, and then that would be that scalp trade done. I suppose that's quite a long term scalp, isn't it? But that's me all over. Right, so that is it. Like I say, change of behaviour taking place at the moment. This could end up being one of those coins that ends up laughing in the face of all the haters, to which there are many. Right, thank you for watching, guys. Hope you have a nice day. Feel free to join the Telegram, Patreon, Discord, whatever. Join it all and have a nice day. Take it easy.